Hello, welcome back to Mancinima. I hope you're all doing very well. When I was a kid, I used to have this little toy that I used to love, and it was called a viewfinder. I don't know if any of you remember that, but it was kind of a little red box. Most of them were little red boxes, about this big. And what happened is you would have a circular disc with images on each side as they went round. So say there were like 12 images, you'd have 6, and the image would be repeated on each side, but there would be a different image this side to that side slightly, so that you'd get that 3D stereoscopic effect. And you'd pop the disc inside the top of the viewfinder, look through the viewfinder, and it would give you, like I said, that 3D image. And then you'd click the little trigger on the side and you'd rotate round to the next dual images, which would give you another 3D image. Like I say, I think there were possibly 6 images in total, maybe 12 little slots around the outside of the disc. Anyway, when I was a kid, I had one on Disneyland, and I would pop that into the viewfinder, look through, and it was my way of feeling that I was in Disneyland. There was no way I was ever going to be there at that age. But yeah, looking through that viewfinder brought me into the land. Now, one of the images that was on that disc was of the Haunted Mansion. Having a fascination, even from a very early age, with ghosts and Halloween-y type things, that was a great interest to me. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to actually go there one day? Obviously, as I grew up, I got some money behind me, and I did manage to get off to the Haunted Mansion. I've been to the Haunted Mansion in Florida, and I've been to the Haunted Mansion in California as well, the actual original Haunted Mansion, which was made in 1969. I think there's one in Paris as well, called the Phantom Manor, but I haven't been to that one yet. I don't think I've been to that one yet. Anyway, the point is, the film that we're talking about today is The Haunted Mansion, and this is the 2023 version. Of course, there was a version in 2023, which was starring Eddie Murphy, but this is the Justin Simien directed 2023 version, and it starts off with the character of Ben, and he's played by Lakeith Stanfield. Now, he's a guy who's invented this, he's an astrophysicist, and he's invented this camera which can take photographs of dark matter or ghosts. And his girlfriend is actually a ghost tour guide, so, you know, they've got that kind of common interest between them. Her name's Alyssa. Now, early on in the film, we find out Alyssa is dead, unfortunately. She got killed in a car accident, so Ben no longer has any reason to go on living. She was the love of his life, and he's kind of just drifting from job to job, doing her tour guides, but his heart's not really in it, because he thinks that if ghosts really exist, why doesn't Alyssa come back to him and let him know that she's happy and on the other side? So he's going through the motions, if you know what I mean. However, he gets hired by Father Kent. Father Kent is played by the wonderful Owen Wilson, or, you know, from Wedding Crashers, Starsky and Hutch and things like that. And he's a great character in this. He hires Ben to come to this haunted mansion, or this mansion, and take photographs to prove to the lady that lives there, who is Gabby, who's played by Rosario Dawson, and her young son Travis, played by Chase Dillon, that there are no ghosts, or maybe there are ghosts, within her mansion. So Ben goes along to the mansion as he's hired. You know, $10,000 is nice, he could do with the money, keeps him going. He's, as I say, he's not really in the mood, he's not believing in ghosts. He's going along, he's got this camera and he's just going click, click, literally making the noises and not taking any photographs. And he's just pretending that he's done the job. And he says, well, there's no ghosts here, there's nothing showing up on the camera, that kind of thing. And obviously Rosario says, are you kind of sure? And he turns around, and this suit of armour, which is very famous from the ride, actually is up there standing behind him. And that's what makes him realise that maybe there is something to the afterlife, maybe there is ghosts in this mansion. So he turns the camera on and he takes a photograph, and he does see a kind of manifestation on one of the shots. So that sets our plot in motion. After that, he becomes a bit more of a believer, and he begins to take photographs around the house. And the plot is set in motion that we need to kind of try to get rid of these ghosts. However, there is an evil entity within the house, and that evil entity is played by Jared Leto, and he's playing a character of Crump, or as we may know him, very famously from the ride, as the Hatbox Ghost. Now, when you're on the ride, you're going around in these, what they call doom buggies. They look like seats, so you're kind of floating and rotating around in these doom buggies. And you see the Hatbox Ghost, and he's stood there on the side, and he's got his hatbox in his hand, and he'll look at you, and then suddenly his head will vanish from his head, and it'll appear in the hatbox, and that's his little trick that he does. And that's pretty much all he does on the ride. However, in this film, as you know famously, if you do know the ride, you know famously they say there are 999 happy haunts, and there's always room for one more, and then that one more is always intended to be you. So the Hatbox Ghost needs one more spirit to join him willingly, so that he can escape his purgatory and he can enter back into the world, and that person will be trapped in the haunted mansion, making up the 1,000 ghosts that are supposed to live there. So the Hatbox Ghost has got his eye set on Ben, because Ben is grieving. He's obviously lost his wife. He doesn't really feel like he's got a reason to live, and the Hatbox Ghost thinks, well, maybe he can willingly give his soul over, and then I can escape. So that's where the plot machinations kind of come in. And yeah, that is the basic plot for the Haunted Mansion 2023. So what to say about the Haunted Mansion 2023 then? Well, is it better than the 2003 one? Well, the thing is, I like the 2003 one. I think it's actually quite a lot of fun. I think Eddie Murphy's quite a funny character in that movie, and although it didn't really kind of riff on the ride too much, I thought it was a fun, enjoyable kind of movie. If you like the ride, if you're a big fan of the ride, then yes, this is definitely better than the 2003 one, because it kind of really lays into the ride. You've got scenes with the stretching room. If you've been in the Haunted Mansion, as I say, if you haven't been in the Haunted Mansion, you don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a room that you walk into at the beginning, and it's kind of an elevator, and you're stood in the middle of this room, you're looking up and all the pictures are stretching upwards. So yes, there's a scene with the stretching room in it. There's a scene obviously with the doom buggies. There's a scene where there's a person in a chair, and they're taken out of the house and whizzed around the house as if you're in a doom buggy, so it gives you that feeling of being on the ride. Hatbox Ghost is there. There's a scene with a floating candelabra, and the never-ending room. There's like a room, if you remember from the ride, there's a room that just kind of goes on and on forever. And of course, Madame Leota, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, is there. So it certainly kind of pays its homage to the ride, and I thought that was really good, because I don't think the Eddie Murphy one did too much. In places it did little bits, but I don't think it really laid into it as heavily as this film did. So this is a real tribute to the actual Haunted Mansion ride, which I really enjoyed. Visual effects are absolutely fantastic. Jamie Lee Curtis is great as the Madame Leota, as the floating head in the crystal ball. She plays a really good part in this film. Plays two parts in this film. She plays her kind of embodied body and the floating head as well. It's the same character, but there's just two different versions of it. You've got things like the paintings on the wall that change faces. You've got remember the two dueling guns. They play a part in the film as well. So yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the ride, you're going to enjoy this, because you'll enjoy spotting all the little Easter eggs that are popping up throughout the film. As I say, visual effects were fantastic. I thought they were really good, really well done. Didn't look like kind of dodgy CGI. I really enjoyed all of the ghosts. I thought they played a really good part in this film. It had a good kind of atmosphere to the movie. All the characters were great. I did think it kind of plodded in places. I did think they kind of slowed down. You think, well, you've got your plot there, but just move on with it a little bit faster. They were kind of taking it easy. I don't know if they were kind of padding the runtime or something. But yeah, it did seem a little bit ploddy in places, and a little bit kind of, come on, get on with it kind of thing. I don't think Lakeith Stanfield was a very strong central character. Rosario Dawson was okay as Gabby. All the characters were okay. Of course, Danny DeVito and Owen Wilson, you can't beat those two. They just kind of play in their usual characters, and they're great to watch whenever they're on screen. They really light the screen up. But Lakeith Stanfield, I thought he was a little bit bland, a little bit, not strong enough to carry the movie. In the same way that when we watched the Eddie Murphy movie, Eddie Murphy obviously being a big, bright, loud character, you kind of lock into that character a lot more and you're paying attention to him, whereas Lakeith Stanfield's a little bit dry, a little bit dull, and I just found he kind of didn't really lift the movie any. And obviously he's supposed to be a character that's mourning and, in loss of his wife. But yeah, I just didn't feel like he was a strong enough lead to bring the movie through, if you know what I mean. Rosario Dawson, I say, she was okay, but again, her character wasn't really kind of up to much. The little boy was okay. One thing, if you've seen this movie, once you've seen this movie, come and tell me down in the comments, why was the little boy dressed like he was a Victorian gentleman all the way through this film? I mean, he's probably about, I don't know how old he is, he's probably about 10 or 12 years old in this movie. But he's always wearing this little tweed suit with a little shirt and a little tie. And you think, a kid at that age would be running around in kind of, I don't know, a t-shirt and a baseball cap and a pair of shorts and stuff like that. It just didn't make sense to me. I didn't get why he was dressed that way. Maybe there's a reason why, I don't know. Initially I thought, watching the movie, when the movie opens, initially I thought it was kind of set back in time. I thought it was set back in Victorian kind of times. I thought, well maybe that's why he's dressed that way. And then of course we come forward to meet Ben, and he's got all this astrophysics camera and stuff like that. And you think, well, it can't be set back in that era. It's set in the modern era. So why is he dressed like that? I don't know. maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. Maybe there's a reason that I missed when I was watching the film. But yeah, yeah, I thought the story was basically okay. I thought it was pretty good, pretty entertaining. Like I said, it just needed a little bit of a boost. Just to pick it up a little bit. But yeah, I absolutely loved all the homages to the Haunted Mansion. As I say, if you're familiar with the ride, you'll love it. You'll find all the Easter eggs. I thought the Hatbox Ghost was really good, really menacing, and he was really played really well by Jared Leto, who is a kind of a here and there actor for me. I think sometimes he does good. I didn't think his Joker was very good in Suicide Squad. And then other times he can pull off some fantastic performances like he did in House of Gucci. So yeah, he's kind of a here and there actor for me. I don't think he's a particularly great actor, but you know, he was good in this part, and he was really menacing as the Hatbox Ghost. And I love that character. I love the Hatbox Ghost. So yeah, how would I give Haunted Mansion a rating wise? What would I give it? I'll probably say it's about a 7 out of 10 actually. I think it's enjoyable. I think you can take the children to see it without too much worry. It's not super scary. It's kind of Ghostbusters level scary, so it's not really super scary. I think you can take the kids to see this movie. They might be a little bit bored by it, but then, you know, if they know the ride, maybe they'll be invested in it. I don't know. But yeah, it's a shame really, because I just felt that Lakeith Stanfield wasn't a particularly strong leading character. I thought if you had a character you cared, my major bugbear with most films. If you have characters that you care about and you invest in, then you're more likely to enjoy the performance and enjoy their journey throughout the film. And I didn't think he was that strong. I thought he was okay, but I just didn't think he was a strong character that we could really get behind. And that probably goes for Rosario Dawson as well. But yeah, characters like Owen Wilson light up the screen, Jamie Lee Curtis lit up the screen, Danny DeVito as well. They're all worthwhile watching in this movie. But yeah, I'd say definitely go and see it at the cinema, because, as I say, it's a good fun film. I think you'll enjoy it. And it's a 7 out of 10 out of me. 7 out of 10 from me, even. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, so that is the end of this review. Thank you very much for watching this one. Let's just go through all the usual routine first. If you can like this video, that'd be great. It really does help the channel out. Thank you to everybody who has come along and liked the videos. And thank you very much also to all the new subscribers. I really do appreciate it. It's nice to see that what I'm doing is being noticed at long last. So yeah, if you know, liking the videos and subscribing videos doesn't cost a thing. All you have to do is, if you've got a YouTube account, just click on the thumbs up button, and if you subscribe to the channel, basically it just lets you know when I've done another one. Same thing with the notification bell, just click on it. Lets you know when I've done a new video, when they're out and launched. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who's done that, and again, thank you again so much to all the new subscribers. I will be back, I think, maybe in a day, because I think I've got a preview film tonight. I don't know what that is just yet, but there should be a preview film tonight, and if that goes ahead, then I will be back possibly tomorrow or the next day with another review. And aside from that, I will see you all soon, and look after yourselves. Take care.